a little bit of a long one, which is A-okay. This is off topic. Nothing is off topic. Absolutely nothing. But I have an unpopular opinion I'd like to share about Noah Dobson. I keep hearing that we're looking at an 8 to 9 million AAV, and I'm not a fan. The production is great, but he's just not good enough defensively to be paid like this based on what we've seen so far. I've heard you guys say that Darling's contract has basically set a high floor for Dobson's deal, but they're not the same player. Darlene actually uses his size and is good defensively, while Dobson is a liability in his own zone. Not to mention Dobson is the power play quarterback of the power play we constantly crap on. The defensemen who get paid the big bucks run much more successful power plays. At any given time, a team only has 2 defensemen out there, and they need to both at least be semi-competent defensively. I'm not looking for Dobson to be 2019-21 Adam Pelech back there, but he can't be Nick Leddy from 1920 when he was like minus 41, I think.
Yeah, that was horrific.
Yeah. We all laughed at Pittsburgh when they traded for Carlson. They were already weak defensively, wait,
hold on. Nope. He's saying, I'm not looking for Dobson to be 2019-21 Adam Pelech, but can he at least be 2019 to 2021 Nick Leddy? That was the resurgence. I mean, it was Nick Leddy was good, then he was really bad in 17-18, and then from 19 to 21 he got back to being like decent.
Right. That was the return, wasn't it? Yes. Sorry. Yeah, that was 17-18 was the minus 42 year, and then 18-19 was 26 points in 82 games, but plus minus 0, which is quite an improvement.
Better.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, agreed.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Just wanted to clarify.
No, that's why there's 2 of us. Love it. We all laughed at Pittsburgh when they traded for Carlson. They were already weak defensively, and we knew that adding a 100-point defenseman wasn't going to move the needle for them because the guy doesn't play defense. I think Isles fans are blinded when it comes to Dobson because we haven't had a productive defenseman like this in so long. If Dobson puts up 65 to 70 points, but also learns to use his size, improve his positioning and decision-making, and looks to be a semi-competent defender, then by all means pay him $9 million. But if he puts up those 65 to 70 points while being useless in his own zone, I can't get behind paying him. I'd rather trade him for a top-line winger. You can find a cheap defensive defenseman or a Mike Riley type to fill in on defense. Basically, what I'm suggesting is that based on what we've seen from Dobson, if he and Hudson Fasching were replaced in the lineup by a point-per-game winger and a non-flashy defensive defenseman, the team would be better. Rant over.
Okay, I understand the frustration with Noah Dobson because he took his offensive game to just a completely different level this past year. 70 points in 79 games. The issue, I had an issue when he was putting up in like the high 40s, low 50s in points and was this bad defensively. I think you could live with if he's going to be close to a point per game player. He's also, though, he hasn't turned 25 yet. And like, I'm very, very concerned about giving up on that. I'm still hoping there's more in the tank, but I don't think Andrew is like crazy off base with this. He would rather have, a point per game, high scoring winger and like a functional defenseman in that spot. I just don't know who from the blue line you're going to have move the puck then. I think that's the issue that you create by doing that.
Yeah, I think that's where, Andrew, I love you, but I think this one, you may go a little bit too far with the I would trade him for a better just defensive defenseman type of thing. That's where you lose me. I get you on the AAV. We were like, can we just maybe pay him 7? If you're saying I just don't want to pay him to that rate, hell yeah, I'm totally on board with it. I get you. Yes. 9 seems like a lot for a guy who's just not going to play good defense. But you take off 70 points from a defenseman, because you bring in another defenseman. What are they scoring? There's a reason that we've been craving for someone to put up points like Noah Dobson, because we've been doing that strategy of we'll find someone to just kind of do that. And we don't get results, right? Nick Leddy was maybe the last one, and his best year was 46 points in 16-17. points matter to an extent. Does it matter enough to give you another $2 million on the AAV? Sadly, yes. It will.
It would, yeah.
But I wouldn't trade him at all. If you have to keep him because that's the price, I'm gonna do it because I know I'm not gonna find another guy to score nearly as much as he can. And the way he claps it from the blue line. Because when you're passing it back, you've opened up space by pulling the play towards the net, that you've opened up a lane for him to fire it in. There's so many times that he's just throwing it out there from the blue lines from far out, and it's precise. We've wanted that from Ryan Pollock, for years, and never got it. I would not be willing to trade him for effectively a Hudson Fasching and a better defensive defenseman.
Nope.
No.
It's Hudson Fasching gets replaced by a point per game player.
Oh, still no. I don't even know if Hudson Fasching makes the lineup, but I think I get the point. You replace a bottom six winger for an elite top line winger, and you get a non-flashy defensive defenseman.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be okay with that. I would rather be better defensively. The game is so reliant on, as you said,
the defense moving
relieve that pressure and moving a transition forward, that we tried that under Barry Trotz, right, with the Zdeno Chara acquisition.
Yeah, that was
And I'm not saying that he's asking for Zdeno Chara, but that's effectively what what Barry had in mind. I'll get a non-flashy defensive guy, and we'll be okay. And it just didn't work. Maybe they could have got a better non-flashy defensive defenseman. But
they had two of essentially the same things with Andy Green and Zdeno Chara.
Yeah, which is it age? Is the style of play? Is a little bit of both. And I'm not trying to say that that's what you're asking for here, Andrew. But that's the kind of the strategy I see happening, and I just don't see that working out in today's NHL.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.